With a twist of East meets West, Live from Baghdad proves that human relations are the bedrock of cable news, as well as a compelling movie. It's often the case when a movie is based on a true story, it's about that story. The extent to how true that story is another story altogether. Occasionally, you get a movie, like Live from Baghdad, where the story may be familiar, and the focus is on how that story came to be. Live from Baghdad details how producers Robert Weiner and Ingrid Formanek of CNN monopolized the broadcasting of the intro to the Gulf War. Using their wits and crafty tactics, they managed to pull this off by cleverly outfoxing both their competition and the local authorities.
Hey! Cigars! Embassy Man loves cigars, remember? You get Embassy Man cigars, he give you big access.
It's a very good cigar, by the way, thank you.
Thought you might like that. You're welcome.
Thank you for the cigars.
You're welcome.
I don't smoke.
Perhaps this may be familiar to you if you were around 30 years ago. Back then, having this exclusive was major news, but few knew exactly how CNN pulled off such an exclusive scoop. Michael Keaton and Helena Bonham-Carter are the actors who brilliantly portray Weiner and Formanek. They're brilliant not only for their talent in acting, but by their natural chemistry too. Playfully tiptoeing between colleagues and potential lovers, Keaton and Bonham-Carter dance a convincing tango that has everybody, audiences included, suspecting. It's established early on that this is old news, yet it continues to follow them around, so long as they're working together. This deep history feels believable because of their chemistry, and because they are birds of a feather. Flocking together, they are on the same page. When either of them deviates from their flight plan, the other comes in for the rescue, whether they ask for it or not, even if it ruffles feathers. This, no doubt, has to do with casting the proper actors. Although it's always good practice to cast talented actors, in a case like Live from Baghdad, having a smart counterpart to your lead is the cornerstone of chemistry between actors.
You didn't kidnap that guy. The Iraqis did.
Put him in jeopardy.
It was his call.
Doesn't let me off.
This is the case with Bonham-Carter, but also with David Suchet, who plays Iraqi intelligence minister Naji al-Hadithi. Unlike Weiner and Formanek, Weiner and al-Hadithi are not birds of a feather. Filtering his Western ambition through Middle Eastern patience, Weiner gains respect of Naji. Weiner's initial car salesman approach is clearly at odds with Naji's. Yet as the plot develops alongside their growing relationship, Weiner's guards are lowered, and his persona is lifted to unveil the true Robert Weiner. From there, an informal relationship is born between the two characters from different worlds.
Look, maybe I'll never understand you. Maybe we're not supposed to understand each other. But as long as we stay talking, we stay alive.
Although there is a bit of cloak and dagger finessing between the two, a bond is clearly captured on screen. Both unbroken and unspoken, Naji is the second counterpart to the film's lead. Even though they are less alike than Weiner and Ingrid, Weiner and Naji's bond stems from professional courtship, if you will. They mutually respect each other's charm and pleasantries, even if their goals are unaligned. This carries on throughout the film, but would not be convincing if not for such excellent actors. Suchet especially charms the viewer, or at least me. His cryptic delivery serves as both a diplomatic bridge between CNN and the Iraqi government, as well as an enticing welcoming hand into the headspace of Iraqi backchannels and philosophies. And his dark, sharp-shooter eyes perfectly counter those frosty blue eyes of Michael Keaton. I mention that not only because they play an important role in Suchet's performance, but also for the plot.
Look, I just want to know, is he safe?
I want you to look at me and understand me. I can tell you nothing about this man. Is he safe? I can tell you nothing.
And while we're mentioning old frosty blue eyes, let's go back to Keaton for a moment. With a certain suave charisma akin to a used car salesman, Keaton does not have to be as loud as some of his characters' shirts. Perhaps the real Robert Wiener isn't that way, and out of respect to him, Keaton doesn't go that far with his portrayal. Even without going that big, Wiener's silver tongue and his quick ability to think on his feet are more than enough to enchant the characters around him, as well as us. So strong-willed in his professional goals, the film does a great job of occasionally reminding us that there's a human inside Robert Wiener. Blindsided by the human element of the Gulf story, he's periodically faced with the moral dilemma of the human toll.
He's all right.
Who?
Bob Benton.
How do you know?
I just saw him.
You're kidding. Or should I get the clue?
No. Forget that. I mean, he's all right.
Hey, but... You okay?
Yeah. I was just standing there, you know.
Okay.
This is both said and conveyed by, you guessed it, those frosty blue eyes. Like most acting I cherish, much of Keaton's performance is told through his eyes. Not only do they convey the emotions his character feels beautifully, but they also establish his observant nature. This may be why Keaton is my favorite actor, and why this is one of my favorite roles by him. Having said that, I think the role which shines above all in Live from Baghdad is that of David Suchet as Naji al-Hadithi. Each time Suchet walks on screen, he commands the audience's attention. Naturally, this should be the case for a man in the higher echelons of Iraqi intelligence. Yet there's something so quietly alluring about Suchet's approach. His very presence on screen leaves no doubt in your mind as to why he's al-Hadithi. On one hand, he has the quiet wisdom of someone within an intel agency. And whenever he speaks, his words are nothing but intelligent. Although some of this can be chalked up to the writing, I feel the majority of the credit should be given to this perfectly cast veteran actor. As we approach the end, more so than usual, my focus has been pinpointed very narrowly. And I'm sorry if I didn't touch base on any of the other aspects of Live from Baghdad you may have wanted me to. In the interest of keeping this a similar size to my other videos, I've had to leave out certain things. But frankly, nobody is talking about this film, which is why it's being featured on this channel. And if there's anything that could get you to watch this film, assuming you haven't already, my hope is that it may be something which I've highlighted here. Regardless of how much you may not know about the Gulf War, cable news, or East-West relations, Live from Baghdad fills you in on a slice of history from the early 90s. One which does a superb job of informing as much as it can on these subjects and events, without becoming strictly a documentary. What it showcases more than anything is how each of these things, at the end of the day, is composed of people. Different as we may be, we are still only human. And if we continue to work to keep that notion alive, then perhaps that can be our top story.